Hi, I'm Seth Westfall. I'm the Director of Golf here at QUERENCIA Golf and Beach Club in beautiful Los Cabos, Mexico. Today I'm on our 11th hole, which is a par 3, and I want to talk to you a little bit about knockdown shots. Now, I grew up on the Oregon coast where we see a little bit of wind. We don't see very much of it on this side of the peninsula down here in the Baja, but once in a while we'll get a little wind into our face on this hole, especially in the mornings as the wind is blowing from that northeast. And by the afternoons it switches and is with us on this hole, so love to play this hole in the afternoon, obviously. When I grew up, people always talked about hitting knockdown shots, and they talked about all kinds of things like widening the stance, making sure you get a little bit extra extension on the backswing, and as you come into the ball you want to be nice and shallow, and that reduces the spin on the ball, which is all accurate. I'm not here to refute any of that. I'm just saying that it takes a certain level of player to be able to perform that shot. And right now we're probably let's say 170 from a front left pin location, which is not where the pin is today. 170, and for me normally that would be like a nice 7-iron. And if I were into the wind a little today and wanted to flight the ball down, I would go ahead and make an adjustment by adjusting my club. So this takes a little bit of calculation, a little bit of time to understand and get a hold of. But the idea being that if I want to hit a ball 170, I'm going to go ahead, instead of hitting that 7-iron, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit a 5-iron. Or in this case today, even a 4-iron. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to choke up on that. By choking up, I reduce the length of the club, which reduces the club head speed, which reduces the length that the ball flies. But by using a less lofted club, like a 4-iron or a 5-iron instead of a 7-iron, I essentially flight the ball down. Now, of course, if they're not into a heavy wind, this could be a problem because this green is fairly firm and as it's exposed, and I would have a tougher time getting that ball to stick if I wasn't hitting into a heavy wind. So keep that in mind, that as you do this method, or any method to reduce the spin on the ball, that you're going to have a harder time holding the green. So make sure that the wind actually calls for it, that it's enough wind that's going to stop that ball, slow it up enough that when it hits the ground it's not going to run like a jackrabbit. Obviously there is a jackrabbit shot that you could hit. It's better off the tee for fairways. My old pro Pat Aiken was a master of it. But for me, that's the easiest thing. So as opposed to trying to augment my swing to hit a shot that's lower with less spin, I would go ahead and change clubs. Now, the science that I found for me and for some of my students behind this is for every inch I choke up on a club, I lose about 5 yards. So in this case, this being a 4-iron, if I go ahead and choke up 2 inches, this is a 200-yard club for me. If I go ahead and choke up 2 inches, all of a sudden it's a 190 club. 3 inches, I would get to 185. Getting 4 inches and less really affects how the shaft flexes, and it's going to be a tougher shot for you. But I recommend that you go out and spend a little time on this, and the next time that you're up against a shot that's into a wind that's aggressive at all, and to a green that can be receptive, that you go ahead, instead of placing the ball back in your stance, hooding the club, and doing all these things, you just club up and choke down. And again, there's a mathematical equation there that you got to figure out for yourself. Spend a little time on it, talk to your pro. He or she would be happy to help you, I'm sure, discuss that and look into it. But for me, that's the simplest way to hit a lower ball, is get a less lofted club and figure out how that works for you. Remember, a little bit of information can make all the difference in your game. Good luck out there.